Life between lives therapy is a modality in its own right, but it's highly connected to past life regression therapy. So just as we can do hypnotherapy with age regression, and we can find that our client, instead of going back to this life, goes back to a past life. When you're doing past life regression therapy, you may find that instead of your client going into a past life, they'll go into the life between lives. So in this video, I want to introduce the concept to you and to give you a basic outline of a few things you can do if your client does go into the life between life realms. Here's how you can take it, ask some questions, and utilize that. The overlap with past life regression therapy also comes in that oftentimes clients that have done 3 sessions of past life regression or completed your program, 3 to 5 sessions, they'll find that it's appropriate for them to have one more session, which is a kind of an advanced past life regression session, which can then be called life between lives therapy. So this can apply for clients that have issues which are specifically spiritual. It's also useful for past life regression clients where it is complex and difficult to understand sometimes. Life between lives therapy enables you to access different layers of wisdom to do that and be a nice session to have at the end of a past life program. So in past life regression, we do some age regression. In life between lives, we do some past life regression. In PLR, we take our client to the end of their past life, we see their past life death, and we meet their spirit guide to have an initial life review. We do exactly the same thing in life between lives, but then we take our client through fully into the spiritual plane and we do a complete life review with the spirit guide. So that's one level of spiritual wisdom that we just communicate with a little bit more, and we introduce them explicitly to 2 other levels of spiritual wisdom. So firstly, we have the spirit guide, a soul who guides our soul. Then the next level we meet is the soul group. These are the souls of the beings that reincarnated with our client through many lifetimes. Then we can be brought to the soul council, which is a group of senior souls that play a high-level role in guiding our soul's journey in the context of many of our lives. They help us making decisions between lives, and they help us select the next lives that we're going to have in order to further our spiritual journey and spiritual evolution the most. This is something that you could do in your 3rd session. You could take the client back to a past life death, meet the spirit guide, and then see if you can have a bit of a preview or do a mini life between lives. If you find that your client has spontaneously gone into the life between life realm, that can mean part of them is saying, I need a bit of a mini life between lives. This can help set the scene. We can have this initial exploration, bookmark it, and come back to it when we have a full life between life therapy session that you could take them through if you learn the modality life between lives, which is available on my other course, Life Between Lives Therapist Training. So I can't lie or ignore it. It's a useful resource that's there. If you're interested in that modality yourself, or if your clients are, that can be a next logical step that many past life regression therapists will take, often because they find that some of their clients take that step already and they want to be able to keep up with them and continue to go through this advanced process. So here are some of the questions you can ask if you find this pops up for you. As they recall their past life death, you can ask, can you recall more of the death process? As you go towards that light, are you met first by loved ones who you knew in your life who'd passed on? Can they explain your death and welcome you? Does your spirit guide take you through a review of that life? So this gets us up to speed and to the entry point of life between lives. We can now ask questions of the spirit guide to get them to give more in-depth reviews. What were the most important spiritual lessons from that life and from many of your lifetimes in the past? In which lessons do you need to make more progress? How are patterns repeating across past lives and into your present life? So a spirit guide will often review one past life to cause and effect connection. We can expand and see the overall themes across many stories and many past lives. You may not have recalled those past lives yet with your client, but the spirit guide can give you the thematic lessons you've learned from them anyway. Is it appropriate to meet your soul group? Can we now meet the soul council? Is it appropriate and beneficial to have a session of Life Between Lives? If they say yes to meeting your soul group in the Soul Council, you may be able to continue on and ask the kind of questions that you'll learn about in Life Between Lives and do a bit of a mini version. If for some reason you've got lots of time, you may be able to cover quite a lot of ground. We can also check and see, is it beneficial to have a session of Life Between Lives? If yes, you can schedule it and come back and go through the complete Life Between Life process.